lights and everything.
Shabbat Shalom, everyone. Today is a Shabbat day. We welcome everyone to come in and share the page so that we can build up our viewing clientele. Show people and teach people how to worship and honor the Creator of all creation. How to glorify His name according to His truth. And how He will have for things to be done. To come in and share the page so that we can... All right, let's get this thing moving. Let's get the party started. Although we ain't having no party, what we're doing is we're going to worship this King. And we're going to do our very best to address the issues that come forward. You mind reading for us today?
Not a problem.
Okay. One of the young brothers is here with us today that used to be with us a long time ago and ain't showed up in centuries, you know. He's here now. So we're going to try to see if we can get him to come in and participate with us. All right. So what I'm going to do is we're going to move forward. Today's lesson, we're going to cover the book of Numbers. Numbers, the 5th chapter. Let me turn these lights on so that we have more light in the house. And as always, we start our classes off by asking questions. So we have to be able to ask the questions to receive the answers.
That's the first chapter, Prince?
Numbers, the 5th chapter.
Fifth chapter, okay.
Shabbat Shalom. Giving all honor and praise unto the Most High King of all creation, asking that He will guide my mind, my spirit, my body, my language, and my speech as I approach unto you, His people. Shabbat Shalom Lakim. May the Most High be praised forever and forever. All right, it's time. Let's go. Here we go. You know, there's a lot going on right now in Israel. There's a lot going on right now in the earth, but in Israel particularly. We have to remember who we are as the children of Israel. We are the elect of the Most High. We are the chosen people of the Most High, the elect of the earth. We have to conduct ourselves in a certain way, in a certain condition, and we have to behave ourselves in a certain way at all times. And we have to be mindful of the Almighty. One thing we have to remember is how the Most High wishes for us to draw close to Him. The proper procedures in drawing close unto the Most High Great King, especially in times like this, in the midst of that thing they call it COVID-19, something like that.
Yes, sir.
In the midst of things of that nature and other things that's going on with all the deaths of all of our people that are dying around us, not just dying, being murdered around us. Some of them are our very friends. But, you know, we got to stand out from the midst of everyone. From the other nations. We have to be an example in how they are to conduct themselves to draw closer to the Most High King. And for the most part, many of us are just like everyone else, except that we know we're Hebrew Israelites. We know of the Creator, and we speak and profess the oneness of the Most High, but yet a lot of our actions are producing and showing, demonstrating a Negroid attitude, you know, an ignorant person's attitude, and not someone who is really in the knowledge of self and in the knowledge of the Almighty. So we have to elevate this thing up a little bit. We have to take it to another level. We have to be the epitome of righteousness before all the people in the earth. always constantly giving honor and praise and glory to this King to the best of our ability. All right? Shabbat Shalom, everyone that is here in the room. Shabbat Shalom, Isha. If I don't speak your name, please forgive me, because the actual recording device is so far away from where I am, I really can't see that little tiny itty bitty writing way over here, but it's okay. I'll do my best. Okay? Now let's walk together. Our reading today is going to come out of the book of Numbers. Numbers, the 5th chapter. I was posed with a situation in being a spiritual leader, a spiritual servant to the Most High's people, a prince in Israel. In being that position comes responsibility. That's what a lot of people fail to understand. When you have a position, a title of nobility, you are to live that position. So holding on to this thing that we have and within this nation, my title of nobility causes me to have to sit down and judge matters or give advice or give constructive criticism or just help people basically to get through, to make it, to elevate, to transform their lives, to become a better woman, a better man in many situations. And a situation came to me, and I want to predicate today's class around this situation. Somebody throwing up a whole bunch of hearts. May the Most High be with you. I pray that I deserve those things that you've given me. By the end of this lesson, I hope you still feel the same and throw up some more. So go out, family. Spread the news, share the news, so that we can get this thing moving. A brother called me up, and the brother says to me, Prince, I need to talk to you. And the brother was very cool and calm and collective in this matter. And I said, okay, what's up, bro? I'm here. Talk to me. How can I serve? He says, Prince, I have a problem with my wife. I said, really? What's the issue? What's going on? What's the problem? He says, I travel out of state. My wife lives in one state, and I travel back and forth from one state to the next state. And I talked to my wife one day, and there's an Israelite brother at my house with my wife. The wife says, ain't nothing going on. I ain't did nothing wrong. I ain't touched your wife. She was braiding my hair. Well, Prince, I didn't know that this brother was in my house. So, Prince, correct me if I'm wrong, because I feel like this brother has disrespected me. He's violated me. The brother says, yo, bro, I didn't know I was doing nothing wrong because she called me. She picked up the phone. She called my phone. She texted me and said, yo, you need your hair done. Or I need my tire changed on my car and my man is out of town. So can you come and help me fix my car? Or if you like, I can do your hair or maybe fix you something to eat sometime. And the brother asked me and says to me, Prince, well, am I wrong for being upset about this? Very, very humble attitude. He wanted to lash out and become Negroid in his actions, but he said, no, I'm going to be a righteous man, and I'm going to address this issue according to the laws. Prince, you the spiritual leader, I'm coming to you and I'm asking for your instructions and your advice. My advice was to speak to the sister, ask the sister what's up, what did she do, take her before the Almighty, and make her swear unto the Almighty that she has not violated his covenant between him and his wife. I talked to the brother, Spoke to the brother and I said, yo, bro, you were totally out of order. You don't never go into the home of another man with his family, his wife, and without his permission, his consent.
Absolutely.
These are things that are small things that the average Israelite is supposed to already understand. This brother actually went in, enjoyed himself, and left periodically from time to time. These are abominations that should never take place. Now, what happened to the brother who is the husband and this was his home? What happened to his mind after he came to realize that this brother was in his house on numerous occasions when he left town? See what happened to his mind? He began to see things and think about things and imagine things. And a spirit of uncleanness, a spirit of jealousy, can only grow within your mind after you see someone you love, someone you care for, someone you provide for and take care of, disrespecting you secretly with the opposite sex or the same sex. Wouldn't matter. It's disrespect. And this type of action should not be tolerated in the nation of Israel forever. It should never be accepted in the nation of Israel. It's extremely disrespectful, and it's something that shouldn't be done. I don't know if you're saying to me that the video is breaking up. If you can't hear me, let me know if you can't hear me before I move on. Type in the room. Type in the room and let me know if you can see, if you can hear me, if everything is on point so I can continue. I got a lot of juice to let go today. Type in the room and let me know if you can hear and see me. It's going to take a little bit of time for you to get the message because it's on a delay. I'll say something and you don't get it till a little while later. I think you might be receiving it now. Type in the room. Let me know if anything is wrong with the recording or the video. I can hear you. Okay, let's move forward. This brother should have known. Mike, shalom, Mike. Shalom. This brother should have known not to disrespect his brother anywhere close to what he did. Go out and share the video, family, so we can keep this thing moving. He should have known to never show that level of disrespect, any level of disrespect if you can help it. You should never disrespect your brother on any level, let alone that level. It should never be done. But it roused up within the individual, the man, a spirit of jealousy. And the Most High has a law for that. It's a portion of an uncleanness in a manner that the Creator has for the people to go through a process if anyone feels this way pertaining to their Nashim or the Isha. All right? So we're going to read on that today. We're going to read from Numbers, the 5th chapter. So we have a reader today. Isn't that wonderful? You might want to get a little closer so they can hear you. Let me see if I can turn the volume up some. All right, we tried. We tried to turn the volume up a little bit. Hopefully it's a little bit clearer. You ready? We're in Numbers, the 5th chapter. Let's go.
Numbers, the 5th chapter, verse 1. And the Lord spake unto Moses, saying, Command the children of Israel.
And the Creator spake to Moshe, saying, talk to. No. Did he speak to him and say, get their opinion on the matter?
No.
No. Did he speak to him and say, see what they think about a particular thing? See if they wanted to hear a particular, see if they like it? No. He said, command. That means demand from them. Tell them what to do. Don't ask them what to do. Because if you ask Israel what to do, they're going to come up with 15 different opinions. And those 15 different opinions is going to favor their decisions in life and how they want to proceed and how they want to be treated. The Most High didn't say that. He says, demand of them, command of them. And let's see what he had to command of them. Read on, please.
Command the children of Israel that they put out of the camp every leaper.
What he say?
Put out of the camp.
Put them out of the camp, their organization, their community. Put them out of the midst of the camp. What else? Who else?
And everyone that have an issue.
Now, an issue is an uncleanness. Sure, you know what a leper is. A leper is a person that gets white spots, and the white spots spread over time. Sometimes the white spot will totally consume their body. That's a clean leper. But as long as the white pigmentation is expanding, then that person is considered to be unclean. You know, you see videos and movies where they show lepers and the lepers got all these sores and blotches. That's not what the Torah says. Torah don't mention that. Lepers are people with blotches and disease, coloration of skin, white patches that grow, and grow. It's an infection. It's contagious. It's highly diseasable. It's highly infectionable. And the Most High tells you to avoid it to the best of your ability. He was saying, put all those people out the camp. Then he says, those people with issues. Those issues are running issues. Those issues are venereal diseases. Damn, Prince, you done got rid of a third of Israel. Rather it's VD, herpes, syphilis, gonorrhea, whatever it is. While you have those diseases, you are unclean. And you should not go to service. You should not enter into a holy and sanctified place at that time while you're in that condition. And no, you shouldn't be on your knees prostrating to the King, praying to the Almighty when you're in those physical unclean conditions. Now he also mentioned something else. Not only is those who have a venereal disease should not be around, he also speaks about those who have who's a leper should not be around, and who else?
And whoever is defiled by the dead.
Whoever is defiled by the dead. When you get a chance, family, read Numbers the 19th chapter. Numbers the 19th chapter will let you know a little bit about defilement by a dead body. Okay? Numbers the 19th chapter. So what the Most High doing right here? The Most High is setting up for the people to do a particular thing. And that particular thing that he has for them to do is to get themselves in order physically ritually, because his spirit dwells in the midst of us.
Hallelujah.
I want you to grab something for me while I read Leviticus the 10th chapter. A lot of people don't understand how your physical uncleanliness can affect your spiritual behavior. The Most High is not a man, but yet the Most High says, get all those unclean things, those unclean people out of the midst of you. Because what? Because I dwell in the midst of you. Now, it's not the Most High literally himself. A lot of people will take that literally. It is a servant of the Most High who brings forth and speaks into and deals with the children of the Most High, the children of Israel. If you can understand on that level, and I pray that you're able to. That spirit is holy. That entity is holy. And that entity dwells within us, with us, and it fights battles for us. So let's read Leviticus the 10th chapter.
Leviticus the 10th chapter, verse 1. And Nadab and Abihu, the sons of Aaron, took either of them his censer, and put fire therein, and put incense therein, and offered strange fire before the Almighty, which he commanded them not. And they went out fire from the Lord, and devoured them, and they died before the Most High. And Moshe said unto Aaron, this is it that the Most High is saying, I will be sanctified in them that come nigh me.
What did he say?
I will be sanctified in them that come nigh me.
Stop a second. The Most High says that he will be sanctified within them that comes near to him, which means that he will be holy when an individual comes to him. He's going to be sanctified. He's going to be set apart. That individual must meet that level of respect for the Creator. You just don't come to the Creator in any condition that you choose. You have to be physically, spiritually. Let me back this up. You have to be physically in alignment to be spiritually effective in getting your conversation across to the Most High King. Read on, please. Watch what happened.
That come nigh me, and before all the people, I will be glorified.
What did he say?
I will be glorified.
The Most High says that before all the people, I will be glorified. He himself shall be glorified. He shall be uplifted. It should be known that he is the king. And what did he say after that?
And Aaron held his peace.
And he held his peace. Read on. Forget that, please. Go back to Numbers, the 5th chapter. The Most High lets us know that when you're in a state of uncleanness, no, I'm sorry, it's a little bit more. There's a little bit more there. I think I think it's a little bit more that you should be mentioning in this portion.
Okay. Should I start at verse 4?
No, 10 and 10.
Yeah, 10 and 10, okay.
Did you start, what were you reading from just a moment ago?
Leviticus 10, but I was on I believe I was about to begin verse 4.
No, I want you to start on 10 and 10.
Okay.
Leviticus 10.
Verse 10.
Verse 10.
Okay.
So we read that portion, and it's touching on the same thing that we need to expound on. Read on, please.
And that ye may be put difference between...
Start at 9. Start at 9.
Okay. Do not drink wine, nor strong drink.
What did he say?
Do not drink wine, nor strong drink.
Do not drink wine, nor strong drink. Read on.
Thou nor thy sons with
Thou nor thy sons that are with thee. Read on.
When ye go into the tabernacle of the congregation.
When ye go into the tabernacle of the Creator. Why? Because he needs your mind to be right. He don't want you coming to him intoxicated. Read on, please. This is important, this next verse.
Ye die.
Lest ye die. He will actually take your life for disrespecting him. You don't come into the Most High any way that you choose, just because you feel like doing it. You have to reverence the Most High, the Almighty. You have to uplift him and make him great in the way that you approach him. We have, I believe it's Exodus, the 34th chapter. I believe it starts at verse 30 or 32, 31. And it speaks about how the children of Israel, Moses, Aaron, and all the priests, before they could go into the Most High, before they could approach him, they had to bathe before they walked behind the curtain, before they walked into the tabernacle, before they did a service to him. They had to bathe their hands and bathe their feet to get all the dirt off of them before they can approach him. Now that was a physical representation of a spiritual thing. You understand? It was a spiritual representation of a spiritual. It was a physical representation of a spiritual thing. And it's something that we should take into consideration before we approach the Creator. Because far too often times we approach this King as if we're talking to a judge, a lawyer, or our Father, or any other human being that's supposed to have some special position. But I don't know, because before you go to the judge, you take a bath, right? You wash up, you bathe up, and you get pretty decent in your clothes, right?
Absolutely.
Okay. The Most High is a zillion times greater than the judge.
Totally right.
So if he asks, as he requires of us as leadership, as the echelon of his people, to wash our hands and to wash our feet before we make prayer to him, tefillah, during the day or the night or whenever it is, so be it. That's a small thing to ask. But a lot of people are not on that level of understanding or dedication to the Creator, and they'll hear what I'm saying and say, ha, I ain't doing all that. It's okay. It's all right. It may not be for you to do. That's between you and the Creator. But if you can hear my voice and you can recognize my spirit, then you understand what's being required of you. Prince, that sounds like a lot to do. Sure it is. It is a lot to do, but he's worthy. Read on, please.
And it shall be a statute forever throughout your generations. And that ye may be put difference between holy and unholy.
What you got to do?
You shall be put difference between holy and unholy.
The Most High is telling us to put a difference between holy and unholy, and we don't do it. We don't. The Most High is telling us to put a difference between the clean and the unclean, and we don't do it. Many Israelites men, we lay down in the same bed with our women when they're unclean on their nida, their menstrual cycle. The Most High prohibits us to do that in the book of Exodus, the 15th chapter, the 19th verse. The Most High prohibits us to sit where Isha or Nashim have sat when they're on their time of menstruation. We are not to sit where they sit. We are not to allow them to touch us. We are not to lay in the bed with them when they're on. We don't put a difference between clean and unclean. Our brother got a venereal disease, we still giving him a dab and a pound. He knows he's unclean, you may not. But if you do, then you make sure that you don't do it. And if you have to do it, the Creator tells you to go and wash your hands before the sun goes down, and then you cool. It's something how the Most High tells you to bathe. That's how you know these wasn't a European people, because the European people didn't bathe. And even when they do bathe sometimes today, they use soap, they use no wash rag. They just use soap, oh, la, 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 la. And that's trifling.
Yes, it is.
You need a wash rag. You need something that's going to help to get the dirt off your body. Okay? So anyway, let's get back to the subject. The Most High tells them to, if you touch an unclean person, that you know is unclean for that reason, that you will, even if the woman, when she's on a nida, you're commanded to, if she touches you or you sit where she sat or do those things in that nature, you're commanded to bathe before the sun goes down. You don't start a new day in that unclean condition. So that's what we did. But that's putting a difference between the clean and the unclean, because that's what the Creator commands. Start that verse over, please.
And that ye may put a difference between holy and unholy, and between unclean and clean, and that ye may teach the children of Israel all the statutes which the Most High has spoken unto them by the hand of Moshe.
All right. Thank you very much. We're going to go back to the book of Numbers. He says, teach the children of Israel all the things that the Most High has said by the hand of Moshe. So when the Most High says it, it's something that we definitely have to do. Okay? So learn to put a difference between clean and unclean. This brother's actions, was this brother's actions clean? This brother that was going to the other brother's house and sitting underneath this woman's legs while he got his hair done, even if he was sitting in a chair while he was getting his hair done, he entered into this brother's house without this brother giving consent and permission to be done. And he cohabited it, spent some time, dwelt for a period of time with this brother's wife in a secluded area, a secluded place. Was that action clean or unclean?
Unclean.
It was an unclean action. So in this particular chapter we're speaking of in Numbers, the 5th chapter, we're speaking about a particular unclean issue. You roused up a spirit in your brother to cause your brother now to be jealous or suspicious of the actions of his wife. Had you not been there, probably wouldn't have happened. If the brother had cameras in his house, probably wouldn't have happened. Or if you could see visible cameras, she probably did it outside. But it shows to me the mind state of the woman. You know, the brother got summoned, he came, he was out of order. It shows a reflection of his spirit as well. But the woman who actually reached out to another brother and said, hey, yo, come over here. Come do this. Let's go play. That's evil on a whole nother level. I think both of their actions are evil, were evil, and is evil, and unclean by every way. So they both are held accountable for committing an atrocity and abomination in Israel. Is it a capital offense worthy of death? Only the Most High knows. If he had his way with her and he did sexual things to her, then yes, by way of death, it's worthy. If he went over there and just got his hair done, as he said, and she cooked him a meal, and then they played Monopoly, and then he left, it's still evil. And it should never be done. Not in this nation, not in this day and time, or any other day and time. It's an evil act. All right? Read on, please.
We're going to start at chapter 5, verse 4 of Numbers.
We're in Numbers chapter 5, verse 4. Zakein Shalomo. Shabbat Shalom. Sister Claire, Shabbat Shalom. Tell the family I say Shalom, family. Everyone. Read on, please.
And the children of Israel did so, and they put them out without the camp, as the Most High spake unto Moshe.
They put all the unclean people out of the camp. The Most High is telling us how to rid ourselves of evil and unclean people. James Kirkland, Shabbat Shalom. Read on, please.
So did the children of Israel. And the Most High spake unto Moshe, saying, Speak unto the children of Israel, when a man or a woman shall commit any sin that men commit to do a trespass against the Most High, and that person be guilty, then they shall confess their sin, which they have done, and he shall recompense his trespass with the principal thereof, and add unto it the fifth part thereof, and give it unto him against whom he has trespassed. But if the man has no kinsman to recompense the trespass unto, let the trespass be recompensed unto the Most High, even to the priest, beside the ram of atonement, where be an atonement shall be made of him, and every offering of the holy things of the children of Israel, which they bring upon the priest, unto the priest, shall be his, and every man's hallowed thing shall be his. Whatsoever any man giveth the priest, it shall be his.
Stop there for a second. Shabbat Shalom, Azriel. Shabbat Shalom. Now, we're covering a part here that's very important. He says, if you disrespect your brother or do evil against your brother, you sin against your brother, one of the things that you're required to do was to go and ask your brother for forgiveness. You have to confess your sin and what you have done. You have to make restitution to try to make the matter right. And that can come in many different ways. To confess your sin is to acknowledge that you have done evil before the Creator. Creator, I have sinned against my brother. I have wronged him. Now, let me go try to make it right. So let's say you killed him by accident. But you really killed him. It was an accident. You didn't mean to do it. So then he's gone. But his children are still left behind. An honorable man would make sure that those children are good for the rest of their lives. That's what the Father's speaking of. That type of honor being shown in the midst of the children of Israel. How we are to conduct ourselves when dealing one unto another. You know, now this particular brother that did this evil action with this sister in this man's house, how could he ever make that right? You see? How could he say, I'm clean, or I've done something, or I made this right, or I reversed what I did wrong? How could he ever say that? Extremely difficult, almost impossible. Every man has a battle to fight within himself. Every woman also. Whether you're going to live a righteous life or you're going to live a corrupt and evil life. There is no middle boundary here. You can't halfway walk the fence. Sometimes live this way, sometimes live this way. Sometimes live evil, sometimes live right. You can't walk the middle fence like that. You have to decide what side you're going to be on. And whatever side you choose to be on, you might as well go to the extreme with it. Because if you don't, you're going to get judged based on your actions either way. So the best thing that I would advise a brother or sister to do is to go on the extreme with the decisions that they make. The Most High says, I set before you two choices, good and evil, on this day. He gives you a hint. He says, choose ye good, that you may live. Because if you do evil, there's something over there waiting for you if you choose to do evil. Now, once this brother decided that, or came to the realization that he was wrong for being alone with this brother's wife, the first thing he should do is apologize to this brother. First, go to the Most High and ask the Most High for forgiveness. And then approach it to his brother and ask his brother for forgiveness for what he did. I don't know of any type of restitution that could be given, but if the Most High says make restitution, then he is to make restitution. And then he has to change his behavior so that he never profanes that brother again or do such a profane or evil or wicked action again. And then after he does all of that, he should begin to teach others not to do it. That means anybody in his circle, any of his friends, anybody he talked to that he come across and they're in a similar situation, talking to men's wives when they're not there, going in people's homes when the husband is not there, spending time alone when the man is not there. Even if a young man chooses to court your daughter and you're not there, he shouldn't be talking to your daughter. All these things are levels of disrespect that honorable men take notice to. These things should never happen. It has caused the man to have a spirit of jealousy or a spirit of concern within his mind toward his women, his family. Nakia, Shabbat Shalom. That's your wife?
Yes, sir.
Hey, Shalom, sis. Shalom. All right, let's move forward. Daniel Mercer, Shabbat Shalom. LL Means, Shabbat Shalom. Let's move forward. Where do we leave off?
We're in Numbers chapter 5, verse 11.
Chapter 5, verse 11. Numbers chapter 5, verse 11. Read on, please.
And the Most High spake unto Moshe, saying, Speak unto the children.
What the Most High say? Speak unto Moshe, speak unto the children, because if this matter rise up, I want you to know how to handle it. Read on.
Speak unto the children of Israel, and say unto them, If any man wife go aside.
If she what? If a man's wife
go aside.
Go aside. If a man's wife if a man's wife betrays him. If a man's wife gives him the ideal that she betrayed him. If any suspicion of this man rises up in his mind toward his wife, this is the law in how to deal with that issue. Shar Tekaya, Shabbat Shalom. Daniel, Shabbat Shalom. Read on, please.
If any man go...
Moreh Shalim, Shabbat Shalom. Sorry, go ahead. Read on.
If any man's wife go aside and commit a trespass against him.
If any man's wife go aside and commits a trespass against him. So far, did that brother commit a trespass against the other brother?
Yes, he did.
Absolutely, yes, he did. Absolutely, he did. Read on, please.
And if a man lie with her carnally.
If another man's lie with another man's wife carnally. Shemira, Shabbat Shalom. Read on.
And it be hid from
and it be hid from his eyes.
Of her husband.
Of her husband.
And be kept close.
And it be kept closed.
And she be defiled.
And she was defiled. That means if she went out and snuck around on her husband and had intercourse with another man. Now, intercourse. What does intercourse mean? Because a lot of people think that certain things they can do and get away with as long as they don't have sexual penetration. And that's not it. That's not true. First of all, intercourse is exactly what it says. Enter the course of something else. Anything that enters, this is Prince's definition of it, please. Don't go to the Webster Dictionary saying Webster said this. This is Prince's, his version of what intercourse is exactly what it says. Anything that a man does to a woman, or a woman does to a man, or vice versa, or woman, man and man. Any type of entering into with any object of any manner is considered to be intercourse. Well, Prince, that's nasty. What are you talking about? Well, the woman belongs to the man. That means that that woman's body, her essence, her soul, her spirit, her body, everything of her belongs to her man. Now, if another man approaches her and begin to whisper sweet nothings in her ear, did he have intercourse with her?
According to the world.
Now, this man knows he's married.
According to the world, no, but according to the laws of the Most High, yes.
He did. What do you mean, Prince? The mind is a powerful thing. The Most High says, who can know it?
Who can know?
Who can know it?
Who can know?
Now, this is going to be far stretched for a lot of people, but it's very real near to me. I understand it totally. Words manifest into spirit. Spirit coming to you, now it can have you feeling a certain type of way. So did he cause his spirit to enter into her? Yes or no?
Yeah.
Yes, absolutely he did. That's intercourse. That's a form of intercourse. Now, I took it to another level where a lot of people might not want to travel, but this is reality. You don't say things to a married woman that you know you ain't got no business to say. Now, if you say something respectful and she take it another way, then that's on her. Your spirit is clean. But if you intentionally try to cause another man's wife to feel a certain way about you by something you say, you are doing evil. And the spirit of righteousness doesn't dwell within you. Okay? So there are things that you can do to trespass against your brother by way of his wife without even physically touching her. You can touch her spirit in an unnatural way, in an unrighteous way. And you should be careful, especially if you're a spiritual leader. You should be careful of how you approach married women. You just can't say any old thing that you want to say because it will affect them in a certain way. And if they're wise and they're loyal and righteous, they will mention it to their husband. And their husband, if he's wise, loyal, and righteous, he will approach you and say, hey, Prince, that thing you said the other day to my wife, I found it offensive. And I would ask that you not disrespect my family again. If he's a man, if he's a righteous man. Prince, I walk with you. I believe in what you teach. You know, I accept your understanding of the law, but I think you violated the code of brotherhood when you did this particular thing. Now, if Prince, or that Prince, has any level of righteousness within him, no matter what Prince thinks he did that was right or wrong, it's not his place to defend what the brother feels has happened. It's Prince's place to apologize and recompense for what he's done. He might not know what he's done, but once the brother brings it to his attention, now Prince has to make it right. My brother, I apologize. I didn't know that I affected your wife in that manner. You know, I didn't know that she took it that way because truly it wasn't my intentions. Please forgive me. And ask for forgiveness. Give him a little bow and keep it moving. That's how we ought to act and respond with each other. In this brotherhood, if it's to grow strong or get stronger than what it is, this is how we have to conduct ourselves with each other. Read on, please. Yah lion, Shabbat Shalom.
And there be no witness against her.
Now, she did this act. She committed adultery with another man's wife. This man committed adultery with another man's wife. The wife go home to her husband. The husband now gets a spirit within him that something ain't right with my wife. But yet, he don't know it. That spirit of jealousy rises up within him. And he really doesn't know what to do. This is what he's required to do. Read on, please.
Neither she be taken with the man, and the spirit of jealousy come upon him, and he be jealous of his wife, and she be defiled. Or if the spirit of jealousy come upon him, and he be jealous of his wife, and she not be defiled.
Now stop right there. Even if the spirit of jealousy comes upon a man toward his wife, and she ain't did nothing. She hasn't defiled herself, but yet he feels as if she has. Then there's certain things that must take place. Read on.
Then shall the man bring his wife unto the priest.
The man shall take his wife unto the Most High's house.
And he shall bring her offering, for her, the 10th part of an ephah, or a barley mill. He shall pour no oil upon it, nor put frankincense therein. For it is an offering of jealousy, an offering of memorial, bringing iniquity to remembrance. And the priest shall bring her near and set her before the Most High. And the priest shall take the holy water in an earthen vessel, and of the dust that is in the floor of the tabernacle the priest shall take, and put it into the water.
Stop for a second. The tabernacle is so holy that even the dust on the floor is holy. The dust on the floor serves a purpose. Think about it. That dust is accumulated from service to the Almighty. That dust is putting something within her so that she can consume it to let the truth come out of her one way or another. He's to put that dust in some water, say a prayer, do his little ritual, and give it to the woman, and the woman is to drink this thing. And after the woman consumes it, if she has not defiled herself, then she gets a reward, and that reward is that she shall bear a child. If she has defiled herself, then the Creator says that he's going to make her an astonishment, a byword, and a proverb before all the families of the earth. Her legs will swell. Her stomach will blow up. That's a lot of sisters already, isn't it?
Absolutely.
That's a lot of sisters already. So what I'm trying to share with you, a lot of our sisters, is that it's possible that your condition could be that way because of how you raised up, how you grew up in this culture that we live in. How far, it's not your fault, sisters, because you don't know. You didn't know. You thought it was okay. But you are holy people. A lot of us don't know this. So as a result of the lifestyle that we lived in this land of our captivities, a lot of our sisters are bald. A lot of our sisters have big stomachs. And a lot of our sisters are heavy all over in different areas of their bodies, and they can't get rid of it. No disrespect to our sisters. This is the absolute truth. It's possible, I say possible, that it could be a portion of all these things coming down on you, not mandatory, only possible. Of all the different sexual partners that you had in your life, however many it was, 2, 3, 4, or 50, because some women still counting. They had 16, 70, some at 300. They're still counting. But woman, you have to understand how sacred your body is. How sacred you are. And you have to teach your children from their youth, both male and female, how sacred their bodies are. And they cannot just be giving themselves over to the fleshly desires of man. Because the Father will hold us accountable. He will hold us accountable. I had one of my children call me the other day. And I teach this because this is how I am. The spiritual leader's life must be an open book for the family of Israel. All those who listen and hear and understand. Because the spiritual leader can't put himself above the people as if he's excluded from these situations. Not me. I'm just like you in many circumstances. But there are certain things that I will not do. But yet there are certain things that take place in my life that may be like everyone else's. Moriel, Shabbat Shalom. Sinya, Dorothy, Shabbat Shalom. One of my daughters called me up. Well, many years ago, let's go back in history. Because, see, although I'm talking to you, family, I'm letting you know that when I say, I really mean. One of my daughters, years ago, brings this little guy, little joker, when she was in college. I go up to the school, and I catch her sitting down at the table with this dude on an intimate level type stuff. Because I used to pick her up from school. I used to go up to a college and pick her up and take her home. So we had a big fallout that day, the both of us. We had a fallout, her and I actually put my hands on her. It was a whole lot worse than what I'm expressing to you, but they wasn't having sex. They was just a little bit disrespectful. Here it is. I'm a man of the Creator. raising my children to be children and one day be men of the Creator. At this time, she was 19 maybe. Her actions to me was extremely disrespectful. Here it is, she got what she calls a little boyfriend who lives in the dorms on the college, who knows what took place and what could take place. I only caught the tail end of a situation. I'm paying my money to send her to school. I'm taking my time to teach her how to properly rear herself up in the laws of the Almighty. And I stand before the nation as a leader in the house of Israel. My children supposed to be in order. How could I lead a nation if my own house ain't in order? You understand? Now we going back some years now, family. She didn't graduate college, brought her own home, she gone. She doing her own thing, but she's still my child. So my argument to her was, when we get home and we get the chance to talk, why didn't I meet this guy? See, it's a certain way that you bring an individual into the family. You don't just disregard your father and your mother and just start having a relationship with another person. It don't go that way. The moment that this guy says, hey sis, how you doing? What's your name? Oh bro, you gotta talk to my Abba. Period. Here's his number. You give him a call and y'all can boss it up. If my Abba approves, then you and I, then we can talk in the future. But today with the young people that we have, and even I, when I was in my youth, I never went for that. But that is the righteous thing for an individual to do. So she got in trouble with that individual. It became a real big issue. And I did to her then what I would never do to her today. You understand me? The way that the person that I was back them years ago was a totally different person. So the way that I handled that situation, I'm not happy or pleased. And even when I think about it, I hurt inside for the way that I handled it. But yet she was totally disrespectful to all that she was taught. She was disrespectful to the Creator. She was disrespectful to her family. She was disrespectful to her household. And most importantly, she was disrespectful to herself. But she couldn't realize it at the time. So years pass. Years and years pass. So she calls me the other day, a couple days ago. She says, Shalom, Abba. You busy? Yeah, I'm busy right now. I was out doing what I got to do every day. She says, all right, well, I'll call you back later when you got some time so we can talk. I finally get back on the phone. I call her up and say, hey, Shalom, what's up? Because I try to address my children when they need me. I try to talk to them, give them that time. She says, well, I don't know how to say this, but I thought I'd let you know I am with child. But what? How could we be repeating the same situation today that we done a good 9 years ago? How is that possible? Maybe 10, 15 years ago, maybe. But how is it possible, huh? The last demonstration that you got of dating and seeing individuals without, it should have been a lesson to you to let you know the proper procedures to bring an individual into your life. But obviously, she didn't get the message. So my response to her was, I reminded her of what took place many years ago. And I said, all right, I'll call you back. I gotta go. Because if I had said right then all the things that was running through my mind, I would have disowned my daughter. Because that is extremely disrespectful. Now my daughter might be a good 29 years old. She may be, maybe 30. Somewhere in that area. But to me, what she did was extremely disrespectful. She's on her own. I don't pay her bills, well, when she asks, but other than mostly, I don't pay her bills. She takes care of herself. She's a grown woman. She handles her business. So what does she owe me? She owed me her truth, her honesty, her loyalty, her respect she owes to the Creator above all. but that honor must be shown even through her family. If any man chooses to date or be with any of my daughters, their responsibility is to make sure that man comes and talk to their father first, before he's able to just take her and do what he wants to do with it. Obviously, she didn't obey that. She didn't do it. So now I have to determine how I'm going to deal with that issue and deal with my daughter. And honestly, I am really in a place right now where I feel like cutting her off. I really do. Because we don't just repeat the same mistakes over and over and then gonna come tell me you're pregnant. You having a child. Don't work like that. So that's where I'm at in my spirit. I thought she's gonna tell me something else, which would still been bad, but hey, something we can get over. But it's gonna take me a lot to get over what has been done in the manner that it was done. To the average person, it might not be much, but to me, it's the world, it's everything. So let's get back to the story. So this woman, if she had not defiled herself, she had a reward coming in her direction. And that reward that was coming was a child. The Most High will bless her with a child. But if she did defile herself, then what was coming in her direction was a curse. And he would take and make her a mockery for all Israel. This is how important it is that you walk right before the Almighty, especially as a woman. You have to understand the value of who you are as a woman. Your body is special, it's sacred. You have to understand that. And once you marry a man, you become a man's wife, your body is no longer your body. Your essence is no longer your essence. It all belongs to him. And you have to walk in that spirit that you no longer belong to yourself. You don't just do what you want to do any longer. You have to satisfy and please and do those things to satisfy your husband. All right? Read on, please.
And the priest shall set the woman before the Most High, and uncover the woman's head, and put the offering of the memorial in her hands.
He had to uncover her head. He said, let her hair come down. You see, this is a ritual situation taking place that we read and don't pay no attention to. For many of us, we're not that sharp to pay attention to the little things. All we want to see is the big things and get to the end of the matter. But these little details was important. Her hair had to be out because her spirit had to be open to the Creator in so many ways. Her essence was pure. And as she approached into the Most High, her beauty was being shown. Read on. Let's see what happens.
And the memorial.
Shabbat Shalom, Reek. Shabbat Shalom, Reek.
Which is the jealousy offering. And the priest shall have it in his hand, the bitter water that causeth the curse.
The priest shall have in his hand the bitter waters. And what happens?
That causeth the curse.
Read on.
And the priest shall charge her by an oath.
He shall make her vow and swear an oath to the Almighty. Now remember what Levi means. Levi is the priest. Levi means joined to me. So now at this time, Levi is standing in the essence of the Almighty as he speaks unto this woman. As he elevates or makes this woman take this oath before the Almighty. So the Most High Spirit, Shekinah, Ruach, dwells within him, and he's a representative of the Creator on earth at this particular time to relay this message and bind this woman to an oath between her and the Creator. Watch what happens.
And the priest shall charge her.
Shabbat Shalom, Nat Turner. Keturah, Shabbat Shalom, Keturah. I'm sorry, and the priest shall charge her.
And the priest shall charge her by an oath, and say unto the woman, if no man have lain with thee, and if thou hast not gone aside to the uncleanness, which another instead of thy husband.
If no man has defiled you, and if you have not went aside with the uncleanness of another man, and no man has touched you. Read on.
Be thou free from this bitter water.
Be thou free from this bitter water.
That causes the curse.
That causes the curse.
But if thou hast gone aside to another instead of thy husband.
But if thou hast gone aside to another besides thy husband. Read on.
And if thou be defiled, and some man have lain beside thine husband, Then the priest shall charge the woman with an oath of cursing. And the priest shall say unto the woman, the Most High make thee a curse and an oath among thy people. When the Most High done make thine thigh to rot, and thine belly to swell.
May the Most High make thy thighs to rot and thy belly to swell. These is curses being brought on the people. So now if you already walking around and you didn't commit adultery and your belly is sticking out here and you real fat and heavy, that's also a bad situation. No one should be in that kind of a situation just doing it because they choose to do it and they accept their condition. This was called a cursed state. Why would you have yourself living in an accursed state when you have the opportunity to prevent it? Read on, please.
And this water that curseth, that causeth thy curse, shall go into thy bowels to make thy belly swell.
Prince, you can't be saying that about heavy people, fat people. Don't talk about fat people, Prince. It's not good. Listen, the point that I'm trying to make here, family, is you are supposed to be your best at all times. At all times. And only you can be the judge of your physical capabilities. Only you can be the judge of that. Don't let anybody else judge you in that matter. If you're comfortable in your skin, then so be it. If you feel like you 300 and 400 pounds and you 5'3" and that's okay, then go ahead and do your thing. But I promise you, you'll be meeting your death soon with some diabetes, some heart disease or heart failures because you're too heavy for that little frame. It's not healthy. The Most High wish that you would live. So do what you can do to live. You understand? You know if you're too big, if you're out of shape, if you're not physically in condition to do so. Some people have diseases where they are. They bodies swell for different reasons because of the disease. And I'm not speaking to those people. I'm speaking to those people that are just gluttonous and lazy and don't do much. Those are the ones that I'm speaking to. There are a lot of women in my life that are heavy now. They're just heavy. For no reason. What is the reason? And then they be heavy and trying to eat healthy. How are you going to be heavy and trying to eat healthy, but you don't do nothing to lose the weight? What I mean by that is this. Yeah, I know this conversation wasn't meant to go this way, but I'm going to jump on it just for a minute because I want to try to help somebody else that's in this condition that don't see that they got this problem. They'll get all fruits and vegetables and even some herbs and make, what's those drinks?
Smoothies.
Smoothies. Yeah, that's the women's favorite drink, smoothies. They'll do all those things. They'll drink that in the morning, and then when they get home from work, they'll drink the smoothie, might have a piece of fruit or apple, and some lettuce and vegetables during lunchtime. And all through the day, they're eating chicken, they're eating steak, they're eating fish, they're eating potato chips, they're drinking juice brought from the store. Some juices 100%, some juices high fructose corn syrup. They put all types of things in their bodies that's not good for themselves, but then they think they're eating healthy because as long as they mix the bad food with the good food, they think that they're going to be healthy people. But they still gain all the weight. You call them up and you say, hey, let's go work out, let's go running, let's go jogging. They don't want to do it. Oh, no, I'm taking it to the head. Oh, I ain't going to do this today, I'm going to do that. And then they wonder why they blowing out this way. Why their bodies are getting expanded. You look at them, their arms are that big. And I'm talking about people who once used to be much, much smaller. Now, in their older years, they put on 30 and 40 and 50 pounds, some of them, and they think that it's natural. It's not natural. It's not natural. You are not doing much. Think about it for a minute. You get up in the morning, you take a bath. You walk to your shower, you bathe. You walk downstairs, you get something to eat. You walk to your car, you get in your car, you go to work, and when you get to work, you're sitting down for what, 8, 9 hours? You're sitting down, well, you might get up to go to lunch, then you come back and you're sitting down for another 3 or 4 hours in between the 8 hours that you sit down in total. You get up, you go back to your car, you get in your car, you go home. When you get home, you walk in the kitchen, you get you something to eat, you go into your living room, sit down in your living room, you eating again while you're sitting down watching television. See, there's no exercise. There's no real strenuous stress being put on the muscles throughout your body, so the muscles lie dormant and they become fat. And you get pockets of fat all over your body, and next thing you know, 10 years of that, and you done gained 30 and 40 pounds all over your body and you don't know how. Well, I don't know. I didn't do anything. That's the problem. You didn't do anything. You know, they used to put videos on television, commercials on television, how you should sometimes take the stairs rather than catching the elevator. And that's the fact. The more you work your body, the fat dies and muscle grows. The more you work your body. But when you get older, you got to do more of that rather than less of that. So if you continue to do less of that as your body grows, your body will become fat and out of shape in unseemly areas it'll look like the curse that the Most High bore on a woman. Same thing for the man. I ain't just talking about the women, I'm talking about the men as well. A lot of the brothers, we the same way. We don't work out enough. We don't get any cardio or very little cardio. Every once in a while I'm out, I'm running. I'm gone. I run about 4 or 5 miles. I'm out. I'm gone. I do my thing. I take walks, long walks. You know, I work out in my room. I exercise. I do what I got to do. I got my little weights. I don't do as much as I should, but I make sure I do enough. You follow me? It can always be a lot better. We have to be mindful of these things because when we're challenged, when that time comes and we're challenged, you have to be physically ready to move and maneuver. The less you work out, the more stiff your limbs will become. The more fat pockets will grow on your body. So we have to begin to get ourselves in a different condition, family. Believe me. We have to begin to tone it up and get it right. You can't eat good food and eat bad food simultaneously, collectively, and think you're going to get a positive result. It don't go that way. Like I told you about straddling the fence. You got to do one or the other. You got to either live good or live bad, whichever one you're going to do. And most people choose to eat bad. Most people choose to eat bad. And that's not a good decision to make out here in today's time. Because you know, we never know what it is that we're going to evacuate our homes and really go live out in the wilderness. Or when they're going to come and kick on our door and we got to fight and wrestle. You never know when somebody's going to try to rob you. You never know when somebody's going to get in a physical altercation with you. So that's why I teach that you should never go outside with slippers on. Because if you go outside with slippers on, somebody might be hiding in the bushes to come get you. You should never do those things. You shouldn't do it. You have to always be ready at all times. And if you know you can check yourself to see if you're ready. Some of y'all beat your kids and get out of breath. Oh, you bad, pain. And you sit down. Damn, that was a workout. You ain't give them but 3 smacks. Oh, yeah, that was a workout, man. You go in the room after you get away from the child. While you walking away, you breathing. Like you mad. It ain't that you mad. You out of breath. You wore out. So we got to work on these things, family. We got to get our physical in proper order. We got to get our physique in order. Sometimes I'll be home with my children. My son, yo, let's do it. We bust out. We doing push-ups on the floor. We challenging each other. Doing push-ups, sit-ups, things like that, just to see who could do the most, because they need to know that I'm still getting it.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
I'm still getting it. Go play basketball with them. They don't like the way I play, but I can run 4 or 5 games. You know what I mean? Most young people can't do that. And it's because a lot of young people are totally out of shape. I'm the kind of person, and I ain't toot my own horn, but I get a second wind after my first wind die out. After I get a little tired, I get that second wind and I'm cool. I'm ready to go. But most people, that first wind die out, they die out with the first wind. That's not me. I believe in pushing myself to its limit. And that's what I do. But anyway, let's get back to the meat of the subject conversation. Where we at, bro? Bring us up to date.
Okay. We're in Numbers chapter 5, verse 22.
Numbers chapter 5, verse 22.
And this water that causeth the curse shall go into thy bowels, to make thy belly swell and thy thigh to rock. And the woman shall say, Amen, amen.
My book says it shall make your belly swell and your thighs to fall away. You ever seen people that's real heavy and their thighs be, the meat on their thighs just be falling? I mean, that's what I imagine when the Father says, your thighs shall fall away. It look like the skin of your body is trying to get away from your body. Or your stomach is so fat, it's hanging over. A lot of us are physically out of shape. Some of it may have to do with our sexual life and all these sexual partners that we had in our lives. I don't know where this fly come from. I don't know. He's a real big horse fly, and I don't know where he come from. And he keeps coming over here and messing with me. It was probably one of them people I beat up a long time ago in my younger days, you know? That's probably what it is. Creator cursed him and made him come back as a fly. So now you're here to pester me. Wait till after class, I'm going to get that swatter. Now I'm going to catch you. There you're back there on the door now. Let's go on, bro. Read on, please.
And the priest shall write these curses in a book, and he shall blot them out with the bitter water.
Watch what he did. The priest wrote the curses in a book. He wrote them down. And then he took them in the water and blotted them out. Made it go away. He dissolved it in the water. And what did he do after that? Watch this.
And he shall curse the woman to drink the bitter water that causeth the curse.
He shall curse the woman by making her drink the bitter waters that causes the curse. Remember, what's in the water? The oath or the curse itself was written on paper. Shooken out in the water where it dissolved. Dust from off the ground of the tabernacle was also put in the water. These waters cause her to get sick if she's done an evil act by stepping out on her husband. Read on. Let's see what happens.
And the water that causeth the curse shall enter into her and become bitter. Then the priest shall take the woman's jealousy offering out of the woman's hand, and shall wave the offering before the Most High, and offer it upon the altar. And the priest shall take an handful of an offering, even the memorial thereof, and burn it unto the altar. And afterwards shall cause the woman to drink the water. And when he hath made her to drink the water, then it shall come to pass that if she be defiled, and have done trespass against her husband, that the water that causeth the curse shall enter into her, and become bitter, and her belly shall swell.
See that? If she's done this, then the Father shall cause those things to enter into her and make her sick. If she has not done it, then those waters become something else and get her pregnant, and allow her to become pregnant. Read on, please.
And her thighs shall rot, and the woman shall be a curse among her people. And if the woman be not defiled, but be clean, then she be free, and she shall conceive seed. This is the law of jealousy, when the wife goeth aside to another instead of her husband, and is defiled, or when the spirit of jealousy come upon him, and he be jealous over his wife, then shall the woman be before the Most High. The priest shall execute upon her all this law. Then shall the man be guiltless from iniquity, and the woman shall bear her iniquity.
Then shall the man be guiltless of his iniquity. Once all this process have taken place and he decides to stay with her, after he takes us through this process, then he shall be clean. He can have her. He's free of any guilt. Because if she went through this process and she swore before the Almighty, now her burden lies on the Most High and not her husband anymore. Now, if her husband heard of it and just said, oh, well, I'm going to just act like ain't nothing happened, baby, just don't do it again, all right, it's cool, then he has to take the blame of that curse. And the blame for that is death. The punishment for adultery is death. So that means that he must die. Okay? But here's an opportunity for that man to cleanse himself of any jealousy or evil or negative thoughts that he has toward his wife. A lot of us, first I want to say Shabbat Shalom to Kev, Shabbat Shalom, and Casey, Shabbat Shalom. A lot of us men, especially in my situation, we have Nashim that live far from us. And we have to put a certain amount of assurity within ourselves that our Nashim are law-abiding women, that we can leave them for periods of time. I'm speaking weeks at a time, sometimes even months at a time, and when we return, they have not defiled themselves. But if we don't have lessons like today's lessons, a lot of our people will defile themselves with silly things, thinking that it takes something major like sexual intercourse to defile yourself, and it doesn't. A simple phone call, a phone conversation on the phone with a man that is not your husband can be a defiling phone call conversation. If you and this guy is talking about sexual things or things that's unclean, and building a family, how he does this and how you does that, how you do that, those things could be unclean. And then that means that you are unrighteous. You are committing a trespass against your husband. You and another brother sitting out on the steps late at night just chilling. If somebody walked past, they could perceive that as if y'all are sexually involved or sexually engaged. So you should never put yourself in that situation to do anything that gives the appearance as if you are approaching another man's wife or another man at any time. You always keep yourself to yourself, by yourself, and you seek your husband's permission before you move out and do such a thing. See, Sister Casey, one of the sisters here on the line, she's been in my home on several occasions, stayed weeks at a time, well, many days at a time. I don't count. And that's because her husband gives her permission to come to my home with my family. She spends time with my Isha. Had her husband not given that permission, she knows that she's not welcome in my home. So I don't have to keep asking her now because she knows the role. She knows how we do things. We don't get down no other way. For my wife to go to her home and her husband not call me and say, "Hey, Prince, what's up?" Because see, my wife hasn't done that yet. But if she does and he don't call me saying, "What's up?" something wrong with that. You understand what I'm saying to you? This is how we have to deal with each other. Now, once he called and I say, "Yo, it's cool, you got the green light," then it's open, it's cool. We doing it. But if I don't, that means that I may not know what she's doing. And if I don't know what she's doing, she shouldn't be doing it. Antoinette, Shabbat Shalom. Rabah ben Israel, Shalom Zakein. Shalom, Shabbat Shalom Zakein. So these are little ways that a woman in a relationship, in marriage, can defile her husband. Little trespasses that she can do that is disrespectful, that will cause her husband to get a symbol of jealousy, suspicion on him toward his wife. And that can bring about a whole whirlwind of evil and negative things. Okay? So we should avoid these things at all costs. Are there any questions? You have any questions?
It was speaking on what you was just saying. That's the reason why when I told you I wanted your Isha to talk, I came to you for permission first before I contacted your Isha on that, for that same reason.
You just brought something to my attention. You're right, you did that. And that's the way that it should be. What you brought to my attention was something that I wanted to address because I'm seeing this quite often. A lot of sisters who are married are getting a lot of hits from different brothers in their inbox on marriage situations, on boyfriend, girlfriend, and hooking up situations. Brothers, that's the first question you should ask a sister. First, you should go to her timeline and see if she's married. And if she's not married, then you drop a little thing in your inbox and see what's going on with her. But if she's married, just step off. If she's not married and pretending to be married, step off. Because it's not appropriate. It's very disrespectful. I'm not saying that it's a problem for if you're not married and a brother hits you up, that's cool. But if you got in your title on your thing that you're married, then that brother shouldn't be hitting you up talking about no marriage situation. He might talk to you in your inbox about certain things, but then there are certain places that he should not travel. He has to be respectful and keep it respectful. So brothers, stop hitting these sisters up in their inboxes and you see that they're married. Leave them alone and let them remain loyal to their husbands. Don't even entice them. Sure, you're right, Nasik. You and yours are welcome at the house of Shalom. And yes, you will get that. Moray, I already know. I don't need to say it. I already know. We know how we do. It's just that real. It's just how we do things. All right? Are there any other questions? Are there any questions in the listening audience? Does anyone have any questions? Well, I want to put this last thing on the table too, for the sisters that might be seeking a husband. Sisters, if you hit a brother up in his inbox, get straight to the point. Don't be hutch-puffing and picking around, and you really want to ask the brother, "Yo, brother, are you open for plural marriages?" if he has another wife, Or brother, are you single? Because I'm thinking about, I would like to get to know you a little better. Let the brother know. Don't just be buffing up on a brother trying to think he's going to ask you, because it might not be in his mind, or he might be afraid, or he might be a little timid and don't want to get the rejection part from you. So sometimes, sis, you can always let the brother know from the door, this is what this is about. I need a husband. I mean, you might not use these words, but look, I'm interested in getting to know you a little bit better. I want to know how you do what you do and when you do things, because I want to know if I can be a part of your life. And if the brother got a wife, let him know. Give respect to his woman. I know you married. Here's the situation, but I was thinking maybe I see you got a good thing going on. I see you're a man, a creative. That's the type of thing I need in my life. Let him know. Don't be peeking around the bush like you got questions. Oh, Prince, I want to ask you a question. What do you think about such and such? Oh, Prince, what do you think about that? And this is so nice and lovely. How about that? But in your heart of hearts, you really want to know, Prince, are you available? Prince, are you considering me? Or will you consider me, Prince? Do you think I could qualify? You just may be what the brother was looking for. You just may be. But if you don't make it known, because the brother definitely, and if he's in a position like this, like a leadership, more than likely he won't make it known. Because he would never want it to be said, yo, I shot my shot, she shot me down. You know, so we see how that goes. Somebody cracking up. Somebody cracking up. But that's the way it goes, the realities of life. Is sex important in relationships or marriage? Is sex important? Sex is very important in relationships and marriages. Yes, it is. But I want you to know that it's not all, it's not everything. It's not the end-all, be-all of a relationship. Sex is important. The two people should be having sexual exchanges with each other. They should be. But I want you to know that sex doesn't just mean that you're laying in the bed doing the oochie coochie. Yeah, I use one of them old school words. Sex don't mean that you're just laying in the bed doing the oochie coochie. Sex can mean that when you walk past and you brush up against her butt with your hand, smack on the booty and be like, you know, that's sex. That's, and if a man smack your wife on that place right there, he has just violated you. Yes. Little ways that you can have sex without just being physically active between the sheets. But I can't go but so far because it's a Shabbat day. All right? But there are things that you can do to keep a flame lit in your marriage without having physical penetration, because for a lot of people, you got to know that sex starts right here in the brain. And when you get that woman attractive and sexually stimulated in the brain, the rest of it is easy. And that's a part of the problem with a lot of men today. They think that sex is just about, and it ain't. Sex is about this. You have to stimulate her mind first, and the rest of the work is easy. Okay? So that's what the real masters of the game do. That's how the real masters of the game get it in. That's right, bro. It's an all-day thing. That's right.
Absolutely.
That's what it is, all day. But that's how the real masters get down. They, you know, they play that thing with you all day and don't even touch you. Don't even touch you.
Like the old saying say, I make love to your head before I even touch you.
That's right. Gotta
Before I
make
even
love to
touch
the
you.
head before you make love in the bed. Or what if she tells you no? Then she tell you no. I checked for a minute. What you mean you checked for a minute, Antoinette? I don't understand what you mean. Oh, you choked for a minute. Okay, if she tells you no, all right, here's the thing. Reek, you have my number. You can always call me because it appears as if you got a situation going on in your life that we need to talk about. So you got my number. Reach out to me. Give me a call after Shabbat, and you and I will talk, and we'll get this thing right. Okay? But here we go. Brothers, first thing is this. I want you to know. I'm going to give it the cruel way first. Your woman doesn't have the right to say no if you want sex. As long as you're doing your job as a man, handling your business as a man, she does not possess, because hers belong to you. Just like I said to you, belongs to you. But now, at the same time, you have to be compassionate enough to not want to force her to do anything that she doesn't want to do.
Correct.
I hope you understand what it is that I'm saying to you. You don't want to force your wife to do anything that your wife doesn't want to do. Now, if it goes on for a long period of time and she refuses to have intercourse with you, marriage might be over.
Yeah.
It just might be that simple. You know? And if she calls herself punishing you and not wanting to exchange that intercourse with you, she's in violation, and the Most High will deal with her. But as long as you're doing the laws of the Creator and providing for your family, your household as a man, she should never tell you no. And if she feels like she needs to tell you no, then you should respect that. Because y'all should have that understanding. It should be mutual. She may not be in the mood. She may not feel like it. And then it ain't good. It ain't the best when she ain't in the mood.
Correct.
You know, it ain't no good when she ain't in the mood. It ain't right if it ain't right. So we dealing with adult topics and subjects right now. And I really don't want to go too far with that on the Shabbat because there's a thin line in what I can and cannot say and how far I can go with addressing that issue. So I pray that you all understand me. Are there any questions, any other questions while we're on? Any other questions anyone else has? None? Okay. We're going to hang around for a few minutes, see if there's any other questions. Are there any other questions? Now, this is what I want to say before I close out. I went to this other person's teaching lesson, similar to like what we're doing. And this person had 300 people viewing his page. We got 11 people, 12 people right now. And the average throughout the day, we stayed around 12, 13 people. This man had 300 and something people viewing his page. And he was talking about absolute foolishness. Here it is. We are here talking about things to better your life, to draw you closer to the Almighty. And I'm coming straight out the book. Coming straight out the book. If I give you my opinion, I classify it as my opinion. Like I did with the, you know. But we're coming out the book to better your life. This room should be jam-packed. People should be waiting in line to try to get in. Facebook should be saying, ain't no more room. We can't let you in this page. Because we got 2,000-3,000 hits. 2,000-3,000 people in the room already. But it just ain't like that. You know why it's not like that? Sometimes it's not like that because it's not that the messages are not good. The messages are not good. And I'm not just talking about my room or this particular viewing. I'm talking about other viewings that are like this with bona fide teachers, spiritual teachers that are truly spiritual teachers and about upliftment and the betterment of our people. This is what I'm talking about. We have to begin to promote these individuals in these pages. See, we got a sister here, Antoinette Kimbo. Y'all see on the page? She's excellent at that. She's excellent. She'll see a class somewhere, and then later on you'll see her. She's doing one of those things where she's playing the class back on her page. She does this all the time. But we have to begin to do this more often so that people who did not make it today can get to see these phenomenal lessons to better their lives, to help their conditions. More of us need to begin, when we get off here, share these pages. To everybody we got on our friends list, just walk down and share them. You know, because when we start teaching, there should be around 2 million listeners right now listening in to the words of the Almighty, understanding and accepting this truth to better themselves and to change their lives. This can't happen if you all don't do it and participate in it. You all are responsible for helping the word of the Most High get out. You might not be a teacher, but you can do it in a manner like this. You can go and share these videos. You can post these videos on your pages so that your friends, who is not that person's friends or even my friends, can see the video because it's all public, and then they can share it and post it and the like. This is how we get the truth of the Almighty out. These are the types of things we need to start doing, family. There is no way that this knowledge that we are bringing forward from Temple Kefarim should be falling on 20 listeners at a time. And if I don't go out and share it, then that's where it's going to remain. 20 listeners. You guys got to do that work. Huhana, she's another one. Huhana goes out and she shares the video. She's probably playing this one right now on her page because she puts it in like that. She'll see a video and she'll play that video back later. What's that called when you play a video later? Watch something?
Your watch party.
Watch party. Yeah, she'll do the watch party. And you'll see the video. You can sit down and watch and get it done. So that it'll help, as the sister said, speed up into the four corners of the earth. Yeah. Another one is Medina. Sister Medina does the same thing, a very similar thing. They'll set up a watch party, share the video to every room that they're friends with. They share that video in every room. This is important so that the word of the Most High will get out to our people. We're doing a great works in this day and time. We are. We in Goshen, Temple Kepharim, Goshen, Build Israel. We getting busy. We doing a whole lot of things. Now, February 1st, we're going to be having our meet and greet again in Goshen. We probably do a couple things before that, but February 1st, we're going to have our meet and greet again in Goshen. When that time, February 21st, we're going to put it out in the public, and we're going to wait for the people to respond. Last year, we had a little bit over 100 people. This year, we hope to have about 300-400 people. Next year, around 500-600 people. Next year, 1 million people. That's how we plan on doing it, if the Father don't take us home to the land of Israel in between time. But the only way that can happen is that everybody here has to play their part. Everybody in the listening audience has to be unselfish and share this information. There's little brothers on here, Morey Yoel. Morey Yoel, he'll come in and see a video I did, he's sharing it. I see a video he did, and I'm sharing it. Back and forth. We don't even hesitate. We don't argue. We ain't even got to watch the video because we know each other's spirit. We know how they get down. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
So this is the type of stuff that we got to do because we know they're not going to hear no foolery or debauchery or evil or wicked things coming from our brothers or our sisters. Y'all got to remember this, family. If we don't do it, nobody's going to do it for us. We have to do it ourselves. So let's make Israel great. Let's make the name of the Most High great. Let's spread forth the truth of who we are as the nation of Israel, the Most High's people. May the Most High be praised. Shabbat Shalom. You know you're welcome, sis. Whenever you're welcome, send me your email address. I'll send you the application. My wife will send you the application back. You fill it out, send it back to her, and we'll get you in on the list. You know you're welcome. And no questions asked about that. All right? Are there any other questions before we leave? We hanging on. Any other questions before we leave? All right. I take it there's no more questions. May the Most High be praised. Shabbat Shalom. Thank you all for joining in. May the Most High be with you.